What's up guys, this is Ben from Life in 360 and today I'm going to teach you how to stitch your Samsung Gear 360 footage, both the 2017 and the 2016, on your Mac computer. With the release of the 2017 camera, they've now also included Mac software, so you can easily process your footage and images on any Mac computer you own, whether it's a laptop or an iMac. So it's a free software. The first thing I'll say is that you need to actually buy the camera to get the software. You can't just download it and stitch someone else's footage. This is because you'll need the product key on the camera. So if you don't own a camera, then you'll have to stitch on your phone. So step one of the process is, firstly, you want to back up your footage to your computer. Just put in a micro SD card reader, put it into your computer, back it up. And then we'll want to download the Samsung software. It hasn't actually officially been released yet. However, I'm going to put a download link down in the description where you can get it. I found it kind of on the sly, but it's the full software, so definitely take advantage of it. Okay, so step one is to open the software, and you'll notice it's called Gear 360. It's not called Gear 360 Action Director. Maybe they'll change it, maybe they won't, but that's what it's called for now. Install it. You have to enter your product key. You can either get that in the manual or actually on the camera. You can find it within the settings. If you can't find it, just have a look through the menu. It'll be there. So first off, we have two buttons. We have 360 player and live broadcast. Live broadcast allows us to connect our Gear 360 by tethered connection to our computer so we can live stream with it. That's really cool. You can't transfer your files, unfortunately, from this to the computer via cable. So you will have to take the memory card out and put it into the back of the computer. Hopefully they'll update this, but for now, you can only do a tethered connection for live streaming. The other option is 360 player, and this is the one you want to choose. All right, here we go. And so this opens up a browser. On the left is where all our footage is, and on the right, we can see our stitched clips. So for now, I'm going to start with one photo and one video from the 2016 Gear 360. And this is super cool because this was not previously allowed by Samsung. You could not stitch on Mac. Well, you probably could, but it was super hard and you had to do it in expensive software. But now it's easy. So this is a really cool thing. If you do own a previous Gear 360, the 2016 model, you can now stitch on your Mac. I will say though that this is actually our last resort because this software was made for the 2017 version, so the stitching algorithm is different. Because the lenses are closer together with the 2017, you will notice a bit of a disparity in the seam line. And here we have our photo. This was taken on the 2016 camera, and that's actually looking pretty good. Look, yes, there is an obvious seam line there, but that was actually my own fault, my own silly fault, because whenever you have one camera with a lens flare and one without it, that's going to happen no matter which camera you own. The stitching's all right, only because I've got the camera so high. Have you not noticed it? The stitch is perfect actually. However, if you do have objects close to the seam, you are going to notice it. There we can see on the video where I've held the camera closer to me, that seam line's pretty horrible, isn't it? That's not really usable. Look, if this is your only option to stitch, then I guess you can make it work. So let's play the video. And look, it's okay. That side is actually all right. As I'm moving around the beach, this side is horrible. You can't manually adjust this, unfortunately. It's just not available in this software yet. So really, this software is a plan C for the 2016 camera. But again, it does the job, so if you're desperate, then this will solve your problem. The photos and videos it'll work best for is ones where there aren't any objects or people anywhere near the camera or the seam line. So in my photo example, there was nothing anywhere close to the camera, which is why the stitch ended up so good. This is going to work for the 2016 version if you keep the camera really far away. However, if it's close to anything, then you're going to get obvious seam lines. However, this isn't a problem for the 2017 version since, like I said, this software is built for the 2017 camera. Something I want to add to this workflow is before you import any of your 2017 or 2016 footage, you want to go up to Preferences and just make sure you know where the files are being saved. The cool thing about this software is that as soon as you import it, it stitches it and saves it to your computer instantly. You don't have to do anything. However, if you don't set the location for where it saves, it's going to save to a random folder that it creates and you might have trouble finding it. So you want to do this. Choose the folder you want to save to. I'm saving it to one of my hard drives. So now I know they're all going to go there instantly. And also you'll want to tick auto correct angle. This is for when you've taken shots where the camera was like this. The horizon won't end up out of whack if you press that button. It'll auto correct it, which is going to save us a lot of time later on. Here you can see an obviously tilted photo, and just to prove to you that it does work, I'm going to import it and see how it handles it. So there it is, it's processing, and there we go. If we look at our equirectangular, horizon's perfect, whereas before it looks horrible. So that's a cool feature. It means there's one less step in the overall workflow, so that's always a good thing. Unfortunately, this doesn't work for the 2016. Not much I can do. It does work for the 2017, and it's a really handy feature. With the 2016, you'll need to bring it into another program like Hugin, or if you're editing it as a Tiny Planet, it doesn't really matter anyway. So again, I'm going to bring a photo and a video into the program. This time, these were shot with the 2017 camera. And we can see down here, the stitching is taking place. Yes, it probably will take a while, especially if you're shooting really long clips. I imported an hour and 20 minutes of 4K 360 into this program, and it took probably, I'm gonna say 4 hours to stitch, so it's not a short process. It will do a good job and it'll do it in the background, but you need to prepare for quite a bit of stitching time. Okay, so here's my first photo example. It stitched my 2017 photo and that's looking good. So this main window is our viewer, and we can view the photo in many different ways. You can change it to little planet, play around with it, many different ways. Look at it in an equirectangular view. Go full screen if you like, and you can go backwards and forwards from image to image and video to video. Down the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see there's a capture button. This means it's going to save a low-res sample to your save folder. It's not going to be full res, so only do this if you just need a photo as a reference that you're going to replace later. If you edit as a Tiny Planet, so if we choose to do that right, we can go save, and the save folder will be right next to the folder we set before. So there will be a 360 folder and then a capture. The capture folder will be the snapshots. And that's a good little reference. You could use it as a thumbnail, I guess, for a video, but it's low res, 1280 by 720. Definitely don't edit Tiny Planets in this program because this is really just a viewer and a stitcher. You're going to get super low res photos, so it's better taking it into a Tiny Planet editor. Exactly the same thing applies to video. So here's our video file. There's me in front of the Harbour Bridge, and there we can look around it in 360. This is just a good little preview just to see what the footage looks like. And again, you can change your view, make it look like whatever you want. It is supposed to help with the stabilization a little bit, but don't expect miracles. Up the top right, we have our share button. If you click that, we now have the option to share our photos and videos to Facebook, YouTube, and Samsung VR. Personally, I won't be using this because it only allows you to share one file at a time, and with videos, I like sharing lots of them cut together. So there you go, YouTube, Facebook, Samsung VR, it's all pretty straightforward. Just give it a title and a description, blah, blah, and you can start your upload. All right guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is free software, so get on it. It's going to make your life a lot easier, and it'll mean you don't have to stick to the mobile workflow if you don't want to. You're always going to get higher resolution photos and sometimes videos when you stitch on computer. So it's definitely something worth learning. If you want to take your 360 skills to the next level, don't forget to check out my ebook. It's called Life in 360, A Beginner's Guide to Tiny Planet Photography. It's going to teach you absolutely everything there is to know about shooting tiny planets, how to do it simply, easily, and every single style that you see on my Instagram profile, I'll teach you how to do. Life is all about finding the best shortcuts to success, and why not learn from my years of failure and get all my lessons in less than a day of reading. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we post tiny planets, we post 360 tutorials several times a week, so you're going to learn a ton. Until next time, keep capturing your world in 360. To those who've already bought a Samsung Gear 360 2017, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm really enjoying mine now. I still use both cameras. They're really good video cameras for 360, and they're pretty good photo cameras as well. I'll also be sure to do another comparison side by side of the differences between A and B, just so you guys can get more of a feeling for how they differ and which one is best for you. I'll put a link down in the description to where you can find both of these cameras on Amazon. They're super cheap at the moment, so you've got no excuse not to own a 360 camera. Bye!